Afternoon, how's it going? My name's Mark Pearce and I'm from Intelligent Triathlon Training. Today I'm going to be talking to you a bit about the philosophy that we have when we start working with swimmer on technical analysis. And the same principles apply whether it's a one-to-one session or whether it's one of our swim schools or swim clinics. So without further ado, let's have a little bit of a look at some of the details. Here we have a model or a diagram. So we have technique at the centre. There's obviously another aspect of this, which is fitness, but we're focusing purely on the technical side at the moment. And around the outside, you've got the key areas that we look at when we're looking and analysing an athlete's stroke, or we're working through the curriculum on a swim clinic or swim course, swim school, sorry. And they're broken down into some fairly simple chunks. Within each of those, there's different areas that will affect those things. So for instance, first area is things looking at body position, then we're looking at breathing, rotation, the alignment of the athlete, and arm action. Now, like I say, particularly the size of the diagrams, the size of the chunks is relevant to the sort of importance of them, or potentially the amount of areas that there are underneath them. So one of the things that we do is when we first look at an individual on a one-to-one course is we basically go through this and have a look and see where things like body position, breathing, rotation, what are the limitations, and then within each of those areas, what are the limitations within those. From that, we can then start to build through. And if you start to go in with things like the catch or the arm action at the beginning, if you then go back and then move things like rotation or body position, or you change the breathing stroke, all the work that you've done on the sort of the end point is then undone because you're now in a different position and everything, it feels different. You're using the muscles in a different way. So what we try and do is we start at the beginning and look at the big basics first. So looking at things like body position and working on what are the key areas. So for one person, it might be, for instance, their kick is negatively impacting their body position, or it could be that they're breathing, they're holding their breath and creating massive buoyancy in their lungs. And funnily enough, your chest is buoyant and your feet sink. Another really important part of the philosophy of this is the education of the swimmer. So for me, it's massively important that we're teaching the swimmers not just what they need to do, why they need to do it, and how they need to do it, and how they can then take that out. Because coming on a one-to-one session or coming on a one-to-one course, it isn't going to change your swimming for the rest of your life. There might be some breakthrough moments in there, but unless you practice that, and unless you continue to practice the things that have made you improve, and then start to evolve that again, you're going to revert back to what your normal default stroke would be. And so it's really important. If you can understand those things, and then you can go into a session at home and think, right, body position, what do I do for that? Okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do the other. And you can go through those processes yourself, and you're constantly reinforcing the positive technique. If you come on the session, you go away and think, yeah, that's great, I'm swimming better now, and go away and forget everything, and you don't really understand what you've done and why you've done it, chances are within a couple of weeks you'll be back to where you were. And I'm sure many of you listening have been through that yourselves. So for us, it's very, very important to do that. So if you found this information interesting and you'd like to find out a little bit more, please like and subscribe the channel below, and you'll be prime time for picking up the latest updates when new videos come out. Or go to our website, which is itt.world. See you in the next video.